Hi everybody, welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Terry Stiles and I'm happy to be sitting by Pauline Bennett again. Hi.
Hi, thank you Terry for having me. And I'm so glad to be back.
I'm really glad to have you here.
This week in the news, we have Oxford Fire Department has a birthday. The Village of Oxford is open for marijuana business.
All that and more. The Oxford News begins right now. It's a nearly 35-year-old law that put 54 Lakeville Lake docks out of compliance and their property owners heading to court. The ordinance enforced on a case-by-case basis since 1988 as complaints came into the township. They were reviewed for the past several years, or that ordinance was reviewed for the past several years, and the township found it a reasonable ordinance. After the review, the township sent letters to the residents in September 2020 requesting docks be brought into compliance if made after 1988. Several court cases were dropped when residents agreed to work with the township. Attorney Bob Davis said 20 cases out of 54 were dismissed, and the township is working with residents on an individual case-by-case basis. The ordinance states the docks of single-family homes are allowed one dock up to 35 feet long and 6 feet wide, keeping up to 2 boats on those docks. So it sounds reasonable.
After what seems like years, the Village of Oxford finally has a zoning ordinance that went into effect August 2nd, which will allow adult-use marijuana facilities to operate in the Village Industrial 1 District, an ordinance voted on by the Council in June, which won a 3-2 vote and was formally protested by the residents. Within 2 days of this effective date, the Village received 4 applications, which are now under review per business. Village Manager Joe Medor said the applications need to be reviewed to make sure each applicant's documents are in order per ordinance regulations, and that layers of the rules will be followed in order to obtain a license.
And in case you haven't been up on North Oxford Road lately, the safety path running along and past the store and lock and up to the high school is closed until September 6th. According to Assistant Superintendent of Business for the school district, Sam Barna, he said the removal of the pedestrian pathway, which extends from the top of the hill to North Oxford and Store and Lock property, is part of the district land balancing being performed on the property, hopefully to make the property shovel ready to prepare for future use. That does not have a current development proposal yet, but may be coming soon.
Happy anniversary, Oxford Fire Department. This month, the Oxford Fire Department is celebrating its 110th anniversary. Formed in 1910 when a rash of fires left 11 village buildings damaged or destroyed within 9 months. Over the past 110 years, the department has grown, now serving a community with 22 full-time firefighters and 20 paid on-call members. From two fire stations, 4 ambulances, 3 engines, 2 tankers, and 2 brush trucks, an aerial truck, and 4 command vehicles. Congratulations.
That's a lot.
It is.
A Wildcat alumni has been recognized with the Tillman Scholar Award for her graduate studies in strategic public relations at the George Washington University in Washington, D.C. Once an Oxford Village Council member, Kathleen Logan, also a 2000 Oxford High School graduate, joins the 2021 class of 60 Tillman Scholars, which is a program that recognizes service and leadership potential of the United States service members, veterans, and military spouses. A veteran of the Army as a mechanic in personal security detachment in Operation Iraqi Freedom, Logan joined the Army Reserves as a public affairs specialist, finishing her military career in logistics with the Michigan National Guard. Thank you for your service, Catherine, and congratulations.
Last week, the Oxford Chamber hosted a ribbon cutting to dedicate the Mattis House redesigned to house young girls at Crossroads for Youth. This week, Clinical Director Chris Veal announced a new Crossroads for Youth podcast series hosted by Veal. Veal said that the series will be of conversation about things that are happening at Crossroads and the community in order to enhance the lives of not only the children and adolescents they work for, but for everyone. Veal hopes sharing insights and thoughts with a specialist in the field can help address mental health issues and psychological concerns in trauma recovery. The podcast will be 35 to 45 minutes and will drop about once every 3 weeks and is now available on Podbean and Spotify. Check it out.
Sounds fun.
Yes.
In its 70th week of local reporting, COVID numbers out of the area saw an increase in recent total cases with no related deaths, which is encouraging. As of August 8th, the zip code 48367 had 7 new cases in the last 30 days. 48370 had 5 new cases, and 48371 had 40 new cases in the last 30 days. According to county numbers, positive confirmed cases increased from 34 to 52 in the last 30 days out of a population of nearly 31,000, which to me is a small percentage per capita. Don't you think?
It is.
That's encouraging.
It really is.
Gosh, I just can't even believe
good news.
It sounds so good when the news out there sounds so bad.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Cases increasing. Anyhow, that's it for Oxford News this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and others, you can go to our website, occtv.org, our Facebook and YouTube pages, or watch us on Charter Channel 191 or AT&T Channel 99, or you can check out Charter Township of Oxford Facebook page and pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper. I want to thank Pauline for coming to do the news with me again this week. I'm Terry Stiles.
Thank you, Terry. And thanks for watching OCTV, where we bring your news closer to home. And that's thanks to Joe Calhoun for all your work behind the scenes. See you soon.
Appreciate that. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's a hidden problem going on right now in our community. This past year has created tremendous financial stress on families. Many are having to make sacrifices they've never had to face before. Some are even going hungry. But there's also something amazing going on behind the scenes. Samaritan House, the Manna Food Pantry, Capax Kitchen, the Oxford Orion Fish Food Pantry, just to name a few. All of these organizations are powered by an army of volunteers, people who give of their time and their money and other resources so that their neighbors, our area families, don't go hungry. And Four County Community Foundation has been there, behind the scenes, granting these organizations money for equipment and supplies to make this happen for many years. But we realize there's more need than ever before. So today, we're announcing a new fund, Feeding Families Forever. This fund is designed to create an everlasting endowment so that organizations in our community have the resources they need to keep doing their incredible work. One hungry mouth, one meal at a time. Now we're asking for your help. If you're ready to step up and help support us and see that no one ever goes hungry in our area, just follow the link provided and let's feed families forever.
For food security.
For us.
For our community.
For County.
Four County Community Foundation. For us, for our community. Four County.
Welcome to Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from Automotive News.
Ford Motor Company said August 12th that it needs to replace molded-in color hardtop roofs on all Bronco SUVs built to date, which will delay production and delivery to owners by months. The automaker, in a letter to customers, said the molded-in color hardtops on both two-door and four-door Broncos suffer from a quality issue that creates an unsatisfactory appearance when exposed to extreme water and humidity. The automaker said it doesn't expect replacement roofs until October and will begin notifying owners of a delivery timetable in September. The news marks the escalation of issues with roof supplier Webasto. In March, Ford said 2 roof options, the modular painted hardtop and dual roof, would be delayed until the 2022 model year. Molded-in color roofs were the only hardtops made available at launch in addition to soft tops. Jeff Marentic, Ford's general manager of passenger vehicles, said Webasto has made a manufacturing change to the hardtops that should resolve the quality issue, and they plan to add a second plant next year to boost production. He said Ford would continue to work with them despite the issues. Meanwhile, Bronco owner forums have been buzzing with some complaining of roof issues shortly after delivery. Others have said their Broncos were built weeks ago but have been sitting in lots around the Michigan assembly plant for an unknown reason. A video posted to the Bronco 6G forum this week appeared to show thousands of Broncos sitting in lots around the plant in Wayne, Michigan. In its letter, August 12th, Ford said it would prioritize oldest units first to receive the replacement roofs. It informed customers that it needs to replace all existing molded-in color hardtop roofs before we can make any new hardtop Broncos. Marentic noted that owners who have already taken delivery will receive the new roofs first, followed by those whose vehicles are sitting in lots around the plant. He said those who have already received their Broncos can continue to drive them without any worry over safety or performance. Ford said that if a customer's Bronco has not been scheduled for production yet, except for first edition reservation holders, they would not receive a 2021 model year vehicle. Marentic said Ford would price protect the current vehicles for both the 2022 and 2023 model years. Ford said production of the 2022 model year vehicles is expected to begin in December. Marentic said the production of four-door soft tops will continue. He declined to say if customers who have already ordered hardtops can switch to soft tops, but noted the automaker is considering options like that and will have more to say in coming weeks. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and we'll be right back.
One of our biggest problems today is that we are afraid to have others challenge our mindset, and therefore we avoid topics that could lead to challenging conversations. At a young age, we're told not to talk about anything that is remotely divisive. But without having challenging conversations, how do you know that what you're saying is your truth and not just something you were raised to believe? Having conversations is how we learn. It's important to be able to see the other sides of things in order to form an opinion and choose what's best for you. Let's say you were raised to shower with all your clothes on. You can go through life thinking that is the best way to get clean, and if you never meet anyone brave enough to talk about hygiene, then you will never know that there is a better way. There's no reason to be afraid of differences. Limiting yourself to certain topics can render yourself unable to talk to friends, co-workers, or even family. To avoid challenging conversations is the same as to keep your mind trapped in a little box. Open your box. It's an American thing. AmericanThing.org.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. We may finally know the secret of how migrating birds can sense Earth's magnetic fields, a molecule in their eyes called cryptochrome 4 that is sensitive to magnetism, potentially giving the animals an internal compass. The process may result in the animals seeing darker or lighter areas in their vision when they look in the direction of the magnetic field lines, says Henrik Moritzen at the University of Oldenburg in Germany. You may also be able to see where north is as a kind of shading on whatever else you may be seeing. Previous works have shown that certain species of birds, such as the European robin, use the Earth's magnetic fields when they migrate, as well as using visual and other cues. Some European robins migrate south every northern hemisphere winter, for instance, from Scandinavia to the UK, and return in the spring. At least part of this ability is thought to lie in their eyes, as the magnetism sensing is distributed, or disturbed that is, in the absence of light. Moritzen has previously shown that when birds are using using their internal compass, the information is processed in the same parts of the brain that process vision. Suspicion has fallen on the cryptochrome 4 molecule as it is present in the eye's light-detecting cells and has a structure that suggests it can be affected by magnetic fields. Now Morrison's team has shown that the molecule reacts to magnetic fields in the lab. They found that in the presence of light, electrons can jump between different parts of the molecule and between it and another molecule called flavin adenine dinucleotide, or FAD, ultimately leading to the production of a compound called CRY4-FADH. The process is suppressed by weak magnetic fields. Changes in the level of CRY4-FADH potentially give a way that light-sensitive cells in the eye could alter their output, making the view lighter or darker depending on the direction and strength of the magnetic field in the bird's field of vision, says Morrison. The team also looked at cryptochrome 4 from chickens and pigeons, which do not migrate. Each species has a slightly different version of the molecule, and the team found that these two are less affected by magnetism, suggesting that the version of the molecule in migratory birds has been fine-tuned to amplify its sensitivity. But they have not yet demonstrated that cryptochrome 4 is being used for magnetic sensing in real life. We only look at this molecule in isolation. We didn't look at it inside the bird, which is extremely difficult, says Morrison. But Roswitha Wilczko at the Goethe University in Frankfurt says the case is not yet closed, as there are other cryptochrome molecules in the eye that could also be responsible for magnetic sensing. Most cryptochromes would in principle be able to do this. And while pigeons do not migrate, they have been found to be able to navigate using magnetism, suggesting that other cryptochrome molecules may play a role, she says. Well, that's it for Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
If you see a teen or adult suddenly collapse, it's important to act fast. Helping to save a life is easier than you might think. Just start hands-only CPR. The first step is to send someone to call 911 or call 911 yourself. Then get directly over the victim. Put the heel of one hand in the center of the chest. Then put your other hand on top of the first. Then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. It's important to push at a rate of at least 100 beats per minute, which is about the same tempo as the song Stayin' Alive. Let's hope you never have to use hands-only CPR, but if you see a teen or adult suddenly collapse, don't be afraid to try it. Remember, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Your actions can help save a life. To learn more, call 877-AHA-4CPR or visit heart.org/hands-only CPR.